let's bring on our next guest because we need a change of subject. Let's lighten it up. Well, I don't know if it's lighter. It's actually not lighter. Because we got to talk about this case that we're talking about, that we've been talking about with our friend Toure. Let me bring in Toure. Toure is not just my pal, former MSNBC, fellow MSNBC, or when he used to host the cycle. He is right now the lead host of Truth Talks. And I want him to tell us a little bit about that. That's an actually cool show that I'm hoping I get to go on at some point. The lead host of Truth Talks, and also, of course, the writer of Culture Fries on Substack, which I subscribe to, and you should too. Toure, welcome back.
Joy, thank you so much for having me back.
Hey, listen, you can come back anytime you want, Toure. You kind of like my co-host. You and I interviewed Mamdani together, as well as Lander. Like, right? We're kind of a team.
We got to get you to come on Truth Talks. I'm really excited about what we're doing over there. This is the second season, so I'm the new lead host, and we just get in there and we have it's me and three amazing, beautiful Black people, multi-generational. So we're having barbershop argument, conversation, friend, but politics, culture, what's really, we might get into how people feel, how Black men feel versus how Black women feel about a specific. So we get really deep into how the culture feels and how we feel politically about different issues. My co-hosts are brilliant, each in their own way. And we just sort of come at issues in a really powerful, amazing, passionate way that will remind you of you and your friends arguing about an issue and try to figure out what's really what.
I love it. Okay, well, you guys tune into Truth Talks, and I love it. I think that sounds really fun, and I definitely am looking forward to being on. All right, we got to talk about this Diddler, Toure. What in the hell? Is this thing over yet? I can't bear to watch it. I literally just read Culture Fries and let you tell me, or I look on your TikTok, because I can't take it. What is going on with this Diddler trial?
Today was the end of closing arguments. The defense did their summation, which was... I was not there for the defense summation. I was there for the rebuttal, however. Mark Agnifilo, whose wife you may know, Karen Agnifilo, who's defending Luigi Mangione, he apparently gave a very powerful close that a lot of people who saw it were very moved and swayed by. They said he was very direct in how he communicated with the jury. Now, I saw the government's rebuttal by the lead government attorney, who was Maureen Comey, who is the daughter of Jim Comey, the FBI director. Extremely powerful presentation where she said, here are the defense's arguments. These are ridiculous. She pointed out that sex trafficking is just, I have coerced you or forced you into saying yes. So you're kind of saying yes against your will. So when one time of doing that, it doesn't have to be a pattern. We could be having a relationship, and then one time, Diddy at one point has his second freak-off girlfriend. That, as far as the trial, there are others, right, that we didn't talk about that much in the trial. But as she is flying, she says to him in LA, I don't want to do this anymore. And he says, come to New York, it'll be just us. And she said, I don't want to be trapped in a hotel again. He's like, come to New York, it'll be just us. She gets on the plane, he calls a sex worker, and then once she's on the plane, then he lets her oh, sorry, we're going to freak off. Now, she has been coerced and lied to into getting to come to the event. That's sex trafficking. You can't be lying people into sex. And there's multiple situations that she pointed out where she is basically lying, or there's two horrific stories where Jane and Cassie, two different stories, where they are beaten up and then they go right into a freak off. And she's like, that's two examples of sex trafficking, because she can't possibly consent to that, right? You can't possibly think she wanted it to come right. So I was really deeply won over by what the government was presenting in their rebuttal. I think that I understand the racketeering argument. A lot of legal smart people are like, no, I don't see it. They, friends of ours are like, they shouldn't have even brought the case. I see an argument for racketeering. You can't have people in your employ who are working on crime, even if they're doing legitimate business most of the time. But he also, buries bodies for me. You cannot do that.
Right.
And the sex, he's not going home whenever the jury comes back, he's not going home at all. There's no chance of him going free because the other charge is transportation to engage in prostitution. And there's so many examples of Diddy himself texting with Paul or Anton or Cabral or the Punisher saying, okay, what's your full name for the flight? We want you to come to Miami, to New York, to LA, to Turks and Caicos. This one 3 different times, that one 4 different times. Like you can't do that's a 99% conviction. You can't get past that one. So you're not going home after this. With the other 2 are what the rest of your life is about. 15 years, the life. This one good. Transportation could be a 5-6 year thing in prison, but I think he's going to get more than that.
Wow. What was going on in the 90s and early 2000s? Seriously, Toure. I mean, you've been a music journalist for a really long time, but I mean, Russell Simmons, this guy, the Diddler, Puffy, it feels like this was, I mean, R. Kelly.
Reid's going on trial in
L.A.
September.
Reid too? What?
Yeah.
What was going, I mean, like, it seemed like and then if you go outside the music industry, Bill Cosby, we know that there was the Harvey Weinstein thing happening as well. There's something about that era, right? Where you had, what was the guy from, the actor who just recently, I think, is trying to make a comeback. Oh my God. Who was in, Kevin Spacey. Like,
it's the era.
What was happening in the 90s?
I don't know that it's the era, although I see I think that where you have gatekeepers who can make you famous and powerful, and people with no power coming into their orbit saying, I want what you have, you're going to have some of those gatekeepers are going to be horrendous people who take advantage of them and the power dynamic. And I look at Puff as akin to Harvey Weinstein, as far as I can make you famous if you do everything that I say, and everything I say includes some crazy stuff. So, R. Kelly is a little bit different in that he's trapping people, but he's similar to Diddy in that he's using the power of having a label and having assistants to trap people and then sex traffic them. I mean, Diddy did some of what Bill Cosby did as far as drugging people. I mean, throughout the lawsuits, they are consistently talking about he seems to be drugging people a lot to where it was almost a joke where people were like, well, what was in the baby oil? Remember, and Cassie was on the stand and would be like, there was nothing in the baby oil. It was just baby. But the people were like, everything.
Baby oil, by the way, like 800 bottles of baby oil.
I mean, I do think that the record business engendered young, aggressive people having money, being at the party 24 hours a day. The music business was like, we are at the party, we're selling the party, and we never leave the party. Even though what they did from 9 to 5 would be, they were like, we worked, you saw us, we were actually working at our desk. But it was a super party atmosphere. A lot of stuff went, and I think a lot of people felt like they could get away with whatever. And because of that power dynamic, because there were so much dreams involved, if you were in the record business, even if you were an A&R, you had a dream. You wanted to be at the circus. You want to be a creative professional. And you were willing to go for some bullshit to be there. And it separated for that. It showed you early into your time in the music business, like, well, this is the price. And some people were like, yeah, it's cool, I'm down. And some people were like, oh, no. And they ran screaming, and it wasn't for them.
It's frightening to me because you think about all these young people, I mean, and I don't know if Usher and Justin Bieber wound up testifying, but you think about these were like 14-year-olds and 13-year-olds that are coming into the music business. They just want to be famous. They just want to be like New Kids on the Block and, all of these they see all these people getting famous, and it feels like it was just pure exploitation, including a lot of child exploitation, I mean, it's horrible.
One of the moments that I return to every once in my life happened with you off air, where we were talking. You saw the Michael Jackson documentary before I did, and we talked about it, and you were like, it's really bad. And I'm like, how bad is it? And she said, prepare to live in a world where Michael Jackson does not exist. I'm like, what are you talking about? What would that possibly be? How? And it was like, I have already crossed over to the other side, and like, wait, when you take the pill, you'll see. You'll, and then
And I love Michael Jackson. I am a super fan. The thing is, but the thing that I came away with in the Michael Jackson piece, and maybe this is a through line to a lot of it, is so many of these parents. There is nothing you could do to let me put my child on a plane to fly out of the country or across the country with a grown man without me. You know what I mean? Like, one of the issues with Destiny's Child was that some of the moms were like, no, you're not getting on that bus. My girls are not getting on that bus without us. And that caused the rift that kind of split up Destiny's Child, because two of the girls were like, the moms were like, we're involved here. That you have these parents who are willing to hand their kids over to an adult
hold on.
stranger.
Hold on. Michael Jackson, I'm not going to defend the parents, but Michael Jackson was not a stranger to them. They knew who he was before they met him. They met him multiple times. They had multiple vacations. He's grooming. The first vacation,
Yeah.
you are staying with your parents, and I'm
Yes,
over here, and
that's
we're
true.
hobnobbing.
Yeah.
And then the second vacation, can he spend one night over here? And by the third or fourth vacation, that's Uncle Mike. He's part of the family. Sure, go ahead.
But you know what? You know what's so crazy though, Toure, is that the guy with the freakiest lyrics, Prince, was like the most wholesome person out of the group, because you know what I mean. Like, he had the freaky lyrics, but he wasn't doing the freak offs.
See, Prince was out here trying to form a family, and now you're like, really. So how much longer do we have in the segment? Prince was trying to form a family. He was grooming people too, but he was trying to form family. He tried to have children with Mai Tai. It didn't work out. He remarried. He's trying to form family. He's not able to form family. He's emotionally stunted to where he cannot form a lasting emotion. His relationship is music. That's his wife for always. And people will say that, like, you're always like third place. Like, music and music will always be 1 and 2. So, but like Prince's music, the sex was a loss leader to get you in the door. The real point of the music was, hey, Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, and maybe he could save your life too, right? Like, that's like, when you get down to the point of Prince's music, that's what he was really saying. Like, would you
100%.
give Christ a chance? Michael Jackson is not dealing with that at all.
At all. And they're both Jehovah's Witnesses, which is another crazy thing.
The sweetness of Michael, where he seemed like a child. Like, out of all the adults, males in the world, you would have thought, well, Michael is the timidest, sweetest, cutest, most childlike. He's not even a man. He's like a boy who's grown up. Like, he is like boys hanging out together. You would never have left Prince with your child, because you're like, yo, don't leave him with your wife. Like, he'll turn out your wife. But Mike, that was part of Mike's whole thing, that he was the sweetest. A million men in the world, and Michael, and you didn't know, you'd be like, oh yeah, I let him babysit the baby, because he is the sweetest, meekest, sweetest, cutest thing you'd ever seen. You know what I mean? Was he not?
I'm sad. Toure, I appreciate you, my friend. It makes me very sad, because I really love Michael Jackson. I think he's genius. He's an actual genius. So is Prince, obviously. They were two. You were either a Prince person or a Michael Jackson person. I, weirdly enough, was both. I love them both. Toure, the show is called Truth Talks.
Yes.
Where do we see Truth Talks?
We see it on Truth Talks live.com. We're on YouTube. We're on Roland Martin's network, Black Star Network. So, nice. Shout out to Roland for like being part,
shout out to Uncle
part
Ro.
of the family. He's like big brother to so many of us in Black media. Been doing incredible things. So you can find us on YouTube, Truth Talks. We want to get you to come on the show and like yap it up with us and argue with us and have a good old fight about whatever issues going on. That's what we do.
I am there for it. All you have to do is ask Toure. You are my friend. I'm always going to go wherever you want to go. And Uncle Ro, that's all our unk. Yeah. We appreciate him. Oh, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. Thank you, Toure. Come back again often.
Okay. I'll see you soon.
Appreciate you.
Okay.
All right. See you soon. Okay, I want to let you guys know, this is Jason letting me know to remind you guys that 70% of the people who watch these episodes are non-subscribers. 70%. You're not joining the family. So if you're watching, hit subscribe. It costs you nothing. It gets you in the family. It makes sure that you never miss a thing. And there's going to be really fun stuff coming up for just subscribers. So please do not be in the 70%. Be in the adorable 30%.